All right, so this is my hair naturally. This is how the back of my hair has always looked. You see that? That's how it always has been since a little kid. You can actually see, if you ever look at photos of me and you get a glimpse of my hair, for example, during the 80s I had it shaved on top with the whole 80s mullet, you'll see that this was like that at the back. It is wavy hair, that's how it is naturally. I've straightened it down my entire life. So, like as I've said before, Big Nan, which is Mary Sayer. Oh, her married name's Keegan, Mary Keegan then. Um, so she gave me a coarse brush when I was a kid, basically. Sorry, it's Mary, her first name, and her middle name. Maiden name Sayer, married name's Keegan. That's my great grandmother, Big Nan. Okay. When I was about 4 years of age, she gave me this brush. It's a coarse brush to brush my hair down straight with, because it always looked like a bird's nest like this, apparently. This is how it is naturally. This is my hair naturally. So I went to the barbers today. Fantastic. God, my hair's looking so healthy. He would tell you, like when I came back, my hair was just looking so brittle and just horrible, like straggly, thin, just yuck. It's now getting thick again. It's getting healthy again. Okay, so you can see it. Okay, this is nothing except for a good haircut. And I've often said this so many years. It's like it's up to the person, it's the artist that's doing your hair. Your hair looks shit because the person that's cutting it. Basically, you haven't got, like, if they don't know what they're doing, then your hair's gonna look shit. Like, here's 2.5 years I've been back in Sydney. I've gone to the same barber, who's a hairdresser as well as a barber, and you can't. Look how wonderful it's just come back to life. It looks fantastic. You can ask him yourself. Like, I will praise this guy, absolutely praise him. I don't know if he wants me to put. I'm gonna put a post out there, so I don't know if I should put his name to it. But if you ever ask me, I'll tell you exactly where I go in Bondi Junction. He is amazing. I even said to him today, I was like, "Oh, Mike, we should have done before photos. Like, you remember how bad it was, my hair?" He's like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Look how, like, I was over the moon." Like, he's cut, like he cut. Last time I saw him, just after Christmas, he cut about 3 or 4 inches off it, and he said, like, it's still, like, you could do it. I said, just tie it up, because my hair. So then we didn't blow dry it. I said, "Do you want to blow dry?" He goes, "No, because we were just blow drying it straight then. Let it air dry, and it goes wavy." So as air dried it, so I mean, basically on the train home, like walking back to the train station to Bondi and the train home. So this is air dried hair. So normally what I would do is brush it down straight. So my hair is actually wavy, but I have straightened it. I was telling Mike, I said, "Oh God, I've chemically straightened, I've hot straightened it, I've hot ironed it to get the like to make it this slick look in the past, and all it's done is damage my hair." Like you can see in some photos, it's like, oh God, my hair looks so badly cut as well, and such a so much damage to my hair in photos. You can actually see, like, literally I've had people cut it like where it's just they do long at the back and short on top. I was like, oh my God, what did you do? Like when I've had other people, this hairdresser or barber, like, look, it's just come back healthy and thriving, and oh, it feels great. But basically, that is right now. This is my natural hair, and I literally had people at some stage thought I was wearing a wig or extensions. I'm like, I don't know what. I don't look. People make up stories, but when my hair was really bad, I've chemically straightened it. And when I first chemically straightened it, the first few weeks, it looks like Asian hair. It's so dead straight. It looks terrible. And I've stopped chemically straightening it. Like, I have chemically straightened a lot. I had it straightened back in the year 2000. Like, I basically did this haircut in the year 2000 where you shave up here. So I don't know if you've seen this, like it's sort of Arabic, but you shave here. So see where your hair is just all naturally there. You shave a line here, you shave a line here, you shave it all, and it was a tiny little haircut. Like, it was all just cut throat, shaved back. It was a fashion. There's actually a photo of me in America in February 2001 where I had that same haircut. But this is my hair naturally, and it's looking fantastic. I love the barber I go to. Um, Barber hair / hairdresser. He is the best cutthroat razor guy as well. I can't, like, I'm over the moon. Like today, is every time I leave there, I'm like, oh God, Mike, you were so, like, feel it, like, just what you've done. I said, you were like, literally, I'm sitting there going, we should have done before. You remember what it was like? Yes, yeah. I'm like, oh my God, like it's looking fantastic. Even Mum said once on the phone, she goes, but you always had great hair. I'm like, yeah, I did have great hair until I was constantly plastering it down and straightening it, and bleaching it. So I used to bleach my hair, and that's the thing. So throughout my life, I put so much bleach through my hair. So my hair's actually naturally this, like, dark. This is its natural color. It's near jet black. But since a kid, I used to put. There was a spray. There was a spray that you used to put in, and it used to make my hair go like. It used to make it go like straw. So it didn't actually make it go blonde, but God, it looked terrible. It's not like, I remember, like, you. So you spray it in, and you go out in the sun, and it literally made it feel like straw. So it's probably just peroxide in a spray bottle, basically. So, like, and that, I used to do that in high school. And I did. I was actually saying this, being a smartass one day, but I'm like, I actually did do that. Because if you see a photo of me when I started high school in 1992, my hair's jet black. Then if you see another photo of me later on in high school, my hair was a bit sort of yucky, like, still dark, but, and it's like, yeah, because I started trying to bleach my hair. That's true. I used to have a mole here on my nose as well. Um, and not bleach where it wasn't white, it wasn't yellow or anything like that. It wasn't anything noticeable, but I was just trying to lighten the dark color, which now I don't. So now I just let it natural, which is this naturally. And if I go in the sun and salt water and it bleaches naturally, I will. Sun and salt water does bleach your hair, but I just don't put any peroxide in it anymore. Like, I don't do foils or highlights, or it's just the thing I used to do, like, got right through my life, going back to as a teenager. God, I used to be like, every so often I'll be putting highlights just to break it up. So be putting like foils and streaks and highlights and blondes and coppers and chocolate brown, but they're all lighter than my natural color. So it's all, toning it down. So it's all must have bleaching products in it. So imagine the damage that it is anyway. So yeah, so end of story. That is my natural hair right now. And it has always been exactly like this as it comes to wavy. And there's a photo of me in 1992 where I've got my hair slicked back, and you can almost, you see how I'm doing that right now? If you have a look at my school photo in 1992, you'll see that my hair, even though it's slicked back with Vaseline, so Vaseline oil, broad cream, hair gel and hairspray, you'll see that there's this little sort of hair, see like that, how it's curly, coming across my eye. And that's in 1992. And I've highlighted these photos, put them up on social media and made comments to say, you see my hair, the way it is right now, see that little curl? That's what it was like even in 1992. See this curl right there? Yeah. And I don't know why people started to make stories up. Well, they're trying to make stories up about Jade or whatever, because Jade had ringlets and stuff that was said over the last 10 years. I don't care. My Nana Lola had ringlets apparently. And when Mum's child to her second marriage was born, and she had ringlets, so it wasn't going to do with me. I had curly hair before that, and I did. There's a photo, so I'm trying to think when she was born actually, because there's a photo of me I was looking for where we can actually see. So I never curled my hair. And like, it was some weird shit that was getting said. Anyway, Nan, Lola Purdy, she actually said to Mum, because Mum was like, oh, Jade gets it from like her father's side, which is my stepfather. And Nan turned around and said, no, she doesn't, Carol, because both Neil and Michael, so Neil had ringlet blonde hair, which is the son that Nan had, because Nan said, oh God, Jade looks like Neil. And Nan, today she said, Jade looks like Neil. So Neil is the brother that was born before my mum and died. There was Neil, then there was Michael. And Nan said, Justin, like, Nan wouldn't lie. And Nan said, Justin, your mum carries on with the Rackley's too much. She goes, my family had curly hair. Neil had curly ringlet blonde hair. And that's what Jade has, Neil's hair. But Mum carried, like, people just carry on with shit, to be honest. So, and there was stuff Mum was saying once about our stepfather having curly hair. Listen, my stepfather's head So when he ever did it, so you see where my hairline is, my stepfather's hairline was way back here. So my stepfather's, he was practically bald. He was practically bald all up here with this sort of hair down here. That he was bald, and he had a reddish brown hair. He had reddish brown hair because when he started going really bald, he was dyeing it or something, I think. But even his son, it's reddish. They got reddish brown hair. It's right through my stepfather's side. So anyway, I'm a bit over it. There's obviously groups and organisations that want to do scams and use lies about me, and they don't like the fact that I've actually stood up. I've made it apparent, like I already said in 2017 when I was playing a prank on idiots to prove they were monitoring and surveillancing me. I turned around then and said, yeah, but that's not real. What? That's not real. So end of story. So that's all I can do. It's obviously there is groups and organisations that want to push a narrative and agenda that's fake and false, and doing that is a crime. It's fraud. That's what fraud is, and I'm still turning back for fight in the last 10 years now. Still turning back, going, yeah, but it's not true. And I mean, I could pull out photo albums right now and show you photos of me when I was a kid. I can show you photos of me when, I can show you photos of my dad. Like when my dad had exactly the same hair like this. So, oh, hang on. Go look at Dad and Mum's wedding photo in 1977. Dad's hair's like this. So, there you go. So, that's just how it is naturally. I can't help DNA. But that's all. But the stuff to do with my green card photo, the US didn't have a problem with my green card photo. You could tell that it's chemically, it looks like a boxed haircut. It was terrible. I had it done at You Hair and Beauty, I think, for that one. I know it was 2014. I think, oh, God, no. No, I had it done at Belinda Jeffries, I think, 2014. It was terrible. It was, oh, that's right. Yeah, it was too, because it was around the time that photo was taken when I wanted to, when I was going to the fashion show. And I had it chemically straightened because I wanted to do this whole 1950s slick, that rural sort of dead straight hair look. So I had it straightened again. I had it straightened in November 2012. So all anyone has to do is ask me. And you can clearly see that's me in the photo. It's like, well, you can clearly see it's me. My hair's just straightened. And the only people that had an issue with it was departments in Australia. I'm like, it's the same with the photo of my passport's been brought up because of TS or whatever, like idiots since 2016. I'm like, why are you bringing up my photo? Are we wearing makeup? I'm like, no, I'm just dark skinned and I'm looking healthy and I'm at the beach. I go dark. We've just been walking out in the sunlight. Don't have to lay in the sun too long for me to go dark because that's in my DNA, as my dad's father had dark olive skin. And I've got not the dark olive skin like my dad's father had, but it's still in my DNA where I will pick up that pigment. So there is that strong pigment from one of the family members. And although he had dark olive skin all the time, whether it was winter or summer, it didn't matter, I still have a bit of his DNA where I would just be walking around and it's sunny and be going dark. So it's not hard for me to go dark. The problem is I've been overheating for so long where I'm so exhausted. So if I go and lay on the beach now, which is really, I hate this because I love the beach so much. But if I go and get to enjoy summer at the beach, it will take me weeks to recover from the pain in my muscles. So something's going on wrong with my body where there was an issue where they put it down to lactic levels in my blood and keratin levels or something, but I'll be overheated, sweating, like I would sweat in winter. I'll be overheated and my muscles and joints will be inflamed just from being one day at the beach. So I have to wait till winter to go to the beach, basically, which is really, so I don't get to see sunlight. And I haven't had sunlight for so long that I end up being deficient from, I think it was vitamin D or something. It was in my blood results. It's like, oh, well, you haven't had enough sunlight. I'm like, yeah, but you haven't fixed the problem in my body either. I've got inflammation continuously in my muscles and joints and I overheat. It's not, and I've had people think that I was afraid of people, afraid of things. Oh, look, I'm not. I did play a prank. As soon as the idiots started making up these stories, I played a prank and pretended to be afraid of people. And that's because I was really pissed off that these lies were started. and the reason why I was pissed off is because I have underlying health issues that cause it. So I have bad breathing problems now. The weight doesn't help. And here's the thing, so my highest weight was 73 kilos. Okay. I had trauma in 2017 and that caused my weight to go up to 80 kilos in 2018. From that, it's about 109. Okay. That's still a huge amount of increase of weight in a very short period of time when I've, at the heaviest, only ever been 73 kilos. I tried to say this to my doctor the other day. He goes, oh, but you were 80. And I'm like, I was 80 kilos in 2018. What was I in 2017? A lot lower. Okay. And you look throughout my life, I've always been thin. I've always been tiny. I don't know why idiots keep making up these stories. You can see if there's a photo of me. So I keep putting photos of myself up when I'm younger, and idiots think I'm some child molester, or I've got photos of it's weird. I've got photos of some other kids. I'm like, no, that is Mark Ian Fleming, my father, in the middle, wearing that white polo shirt and his chinos and whatever. That is my twin sister, Amanda Lee Fleming, on the left, wearing her little, it was like, what do you call it? The style. It was like a Chanel kid suit back then. Yeah, we had good clothing back then, but it wasn't Chanel. It wasn't Chanel, but it was like a lookalike. It was this little sort of pink suit thing with a little fluffy black and white socks. That's Amanda, my twin sister, and I'm on the right-hand side of Dad. So Amanda was really blonde. Amanda, we were both really blonde babies, but mine, as soon as I started losing my baby hair, mine went black. Amanda stayed really white blonde. But so Amanda, my twin sister, he's this white blonde, and here's me, which is black on the other side. That's me. That photo's taken in 1990. You can see how thin I was in 1990. I was thin. I didn't ever put on weight until just traumatized. There might have, throughout my life, I'd always stayed very lean. I did modeling after school. If I ever put on weight, it would have been something with trauma. Probably mum forcing me to be somebody, or after she moved from Sydney and she kept telling me, oh, you've got to change. I'm like, but why do I, she wanted me to be around she wanted me to be like the people she lived around. I'm like, well, I'm not going to be, because we're from Sydney. You changed your lifestyle. I don't want to change mine. I want to go back home to Sydney. My grandparents are all from the inner city. My great-grandmother's from the city. My great-uncles are from the city. They're all city people. And I like being around that. So I was more around that. Mum just wanted to change her lifestyle. And there's this weird thing that people like going, oh, he's from the bush. You're an insane loser. Why would I be from the bush? That's my stepfather is. My stepbrother is. I've been saying for years, Housing Commission thought I was my stepbrother. They did. I literally had people in 2017, 2018 harassing me. And I'm like, that's Daniel Rackley. That's Daniel Racker. And then Shane Childs. I had someone from Housing Commission in 2016 describe Shane Childs. Don't worry, my mum knows. So this Housing Commission lady, so they were talking about, so Shane Childs, he was a freak. He grew up in Housing Commission. That's my mother's deadbeat sister's son. I can't stand him. I used to run around with his penis out all day. He was a freak. He used to go, literally he'll run up to go power pipe. He was this weirdo. He's mentally retarded freak. That's Robin Child's son, Christy Child's brother. And now he's a cannabis smoking, ice using, his ex-partner Sally was a big heavy ice using. I'm like, yeah, I would have put it past him. Look who their mother is, Robin Childs. But they're from, his dad's from Bathurst or somewhere. So a Housing Commission lady came to me. They reckon they knew me. I'm like, no. And this is the description. I imagine that you were someone that grew up with your uncle because you never had a father. I'm like, no, I grew up with my dad, Mark Fleming. Anyway, and your mum's brother, you idolized him. I could see you being someone that used to go shooting and hunting and pig hunting and driving a ute, and that you were involved in wildlife and nature. I see you more being a wildlife and nature person, really. That's what this lady was saying. I'm like, well, I never have been. I've been a city person my entire life, going to theatres and art galleries. And I see you, walking around you used to collect snakes and reptiles and walking around with a lizard on one shoulder and a snake on the other shoulder. And it was like these deadbeat people. And I'm there going, no, but you have described my mother's sister's son. Exactly. He never had a father, although his father was, Reg Childs from Bathurst or somewhere, some deadbeat. His mother's a deadbeat. He did hang out with his mother, so my mother's brother as well, because we never knew my mother's brother growing up, Denny. But Shane idolised him growing up. They were together everywhere. They did everything together. Camping, hunting, fishing, everything. So, yeah, that's his mother's brother, my mother's brother. So everything, and blonde. Shane was blonde. Actually, I've got a photo of him here. It taken when Jade was born. So it was in 1988. And my hair's black and his hair's blonde. So, yeah. I mean, that's not unusual. And I was a blonde baby. Like, literally. And we're going around in circles. It's like these people are just criminals that are making up stories as well. See, I was a white blonde baby. I was white. Basically, and you can see that. There's a photo of myself and my twin sister. And there's a photo of, I can show you all the photos, and you can see there's a photo where you can start seeing the blondes here, and there's black roots along here where it was growing out. And that's not unusual because Pop, Reginald George Purdy, he was a blonde baby. And then his hair went jet black and then he went grey. But then Stanley Fleming, Dad's father, his hair is jet black. Jet black to the day he died. Never went grey. Christ, it was black. Like, thick black, frizzy, untamable hair. But all these people, they're making up stories. They're just criminals of women. They're low-life, deadbeat women that are making up stories of child molestation and abuse and crap. And I'm like, what are they trying to scam? Like, what's this narrative and agenda they're trying to push in a scam that they're doing? And it's a 10-year scam. I'm like, wow, Australia's must be throwing money at something again. It's because it's like, so I'll put this out into America. It's like, yeah, besides me playing a joke on people from 2016 to 2018 because you monitored and surveillanced me after I was lied about in 2015, and if my mother was Norm and got me a solicitor in 2015 when I was lied about, this wouldn't have gone on. Besides that, you just are just making up stories. There must be some. It's like Giovanni's friend Abigail Ann Francis Noyce pretended to be the victim of abuse. It's all fraud. So, Justin bumped into me when he walked past, but he did it deliberately and I fell backwards so she could claim compensation. It's just all these little scare. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, I'm literally someone that actually had a bad injury after work on November 30th, 2007. So I was on workers' compensation for a Glasgow coma scale 13. And I'm watching these people claim compensation for domestic violence or, stress. I'm like, are you insane? Like, and so I'm looking at someone like me that actually had a real injury to gets nothing. And these people are just scammers. Like Giovanni Consalvo is an absolute con man scammer. Oh, his friend from the UK came over and was doing some royal commission into child molestation. I was like, but she's a nut job. I know. Let me. I'm like, please let me go in front of a magistrate and talk about that, because I'll talk about this gainer Dan, who calls herself Alice, who's a Mormon deadbeat in love with Giovanni, a gay man, or who knows what Giovanni is. He's a fucking weirdo. He is a fucking weirdo with Mormon, Jehovah's Witness, the Latter-day Saint Mormon, and born-again Christian freak family. Freaks. Absolute freaks. I'm like, oh my God, I wish I never met him. His friends are weird. He's weird. I just wish I never met him. And I do, oh God, I wish I never met him. Like, normal Roman Catholic, please, or normal Islamic, or normal, Jewish is fine. But these Christians groups are freaks. Anyway, and I'm there going, but they see, like, I know from Giovanni, I'm like, they're weird, but they're Mormon. I wouldn't be using people like that because they think everything's sinister. Like, literally, and I want to say in front of a magistrate, because Giovanni's father goes, I'll tell you, Sebastian, so his mother's Dawn Carpenter, and Sebastian goes, when he's at my place in December 2008, I reckon, so someone must have molested my son to be gay, and I think it was the hairdresser or something, he's the guy down the road. And he's talking shit like this. I'm like, but that's exactly these people that make up stories. They believe that you're going to be molested to be gay or someone gave you drugs. It's like, this is what his father was saying. I'm like, these are the freaks that Giovanni's grown up around. These freaks of just backwards-minded people from country town Adelaide. So, and that's where I'm like, yeah, I don't believe half the shit that people say, because you can really, for an example, I've watched women go after very sensitive gay men that have for an example, they've grown up in farming, okay? Because I went to high school in a different area, but I was only there for 6 years, and I watched gay men get married and have kids because here's the thing, they were told they weren't gay. Okay, so they're born in the area. Their parents are born in the area. Their grandparents are born in the area. Their great grandparents are born in the area. It's like, oh my Jesus fucking Christ, fuck! It was freaking me out being there for high school. Briefly, especially when my mum's born in Darlinghurst. My grandparents are all raised in the inner city suburbs of Sydney. I'm born and raised in Sydney. These people are fucking freaks. So you see them. It's like suddenly like. Okay, they try to come out to the gay, you'll be like, you get some creepy person, be like, oh, you were molested. Was it this person? And you watch it. It'll be like, no. It's like, no, they molested you, didn't they? And it's this constant browbeating, until the person turns around and say, oh, yes, I was molested by this person. I've seen this firsthand. I'm like, oh, my God. No, they won't. So I've got a different perspective on what people say, because I'm like, but I've actually literally see people say this. And this is where I don't believe, like even what people are saying about the Roman Catholic Church, I'm like, oh, look, maybe one or two, but I don't believe the amount of numbers. I see it as being some people that can't deal with the fact of their sexuality, because there's a lot of men. I mean, I'm lucky. From a young age, I dealt with the fact that I was gay, didn't care. Literally, some idiot in high school said, you're gay. I'm like, yes, but I told you I was gay. That conversation didn't happen. So it doesn't. So I was very lucky to never care about my sexuality. But so I've met so many gay guys that couldn't deal with the fact that they're gay and how it's going to affect their families and their friends and business. Like it was all these. Like this is what they were like. I'm like, oh God, that's so much. Wow, that's too heavy for me. Like a lot of guys I've met. Like I came out when I was young. Like I mean young and. It was never to me, or my family don't accept it or anything like this. I was like, no. Like, and then I've met gay guys, even in my 20s, and they're not out, and they're like, oh, and it's this stressful, like that. That's how I talk. It's like, man, it's just a sexuality. So it's this whole big. I'm like, and then you hear what their families say, and I'm like, oh my God, you are so uneducated. Like I'm literally going, oh my God, you're just uneducated people. Like, I don't get it. I don't get how people can be so backwards. I never had that, like I never felt that way. I felt very okay to just be honest and truthful. Oh yeah, I'm gay. Like literally. That's how it was. I didn't feel this uncomfortable thing to hide my sexuality ever. And I never did. My mum would stand up. Like, I have issues with my mum, and I've had so many people come around and say, oh, is it because you were gay? I'm like, no, it's because she didn't get me a solicitor in 2015. Like, literally, if she hadn't got me a solicitor in 2015 when I asked, just to do a cease and desist order, then I wouldn't have been put through the trouble I have been in the last 10 years. So, no, when your mother works in a legal office her entire life, and the last company she worked for was in 2009, and I'm like, Carol, I've just been lied about. And she goes, oh, so what? I get lied about all the time. I'm like, this is a bit different. This is damaging, really badly damaging, and I need to get it corrected and verified information and facts. And you can do that. You can just call your old boss and say, look, can you just give this organisation a call and tell them to fuck off out of Justin's life? Like, you couldn't just do that. Get it, so write a cease and desist order from a solicitor, then the last bullshit since 2016 onwards would never have happened. I asked you to do that, Mum, and you didn't do it. So I was like, well, okay. So literally I've had people go, oh, you don't talk this because of this. I'm like, no. Because when I ask for something to be specifically done, then I expect it. That's why. All right. Leaving it at that because it is just under half an hour, and that's enough for me to upload. But anyway, as you see, let me go in the light. Yeah. Hair, and I'm going to get some sleep. That is and I love this barber. God, I love him. Oh, he's a gorgeous man, but I'm going to love him because look at great haircut. It's fabulous. Good.